Imagine lacing up your boots in modern-day London and walking all the way to Amsterdam without ever touching water. 9,000 years ago, you could have done exactly that. This was Doggerland, a massive, sprawling European subcontinent that connected Britain directly to the mainland. The terrain was incredibly fertile. You would hike through dense oak forests, cross the prehistoric river systems of the Rhine and the Thames, and share the landscape with abundant herds of wild game. For the thousands of Stone Age humans living there, this was the richest hunting ground in all of Europe, a thriving ecosystem sitting right where our maps currently show cold ocean water. For centuries, this world remained forgotten. Fishermen accidentally began dredging up the first evidence of its existence from the stormy depths of the North Sea. In the 19th century, fishing trawlers dragging heavy nets across the Dogger Bank started pulling up massive bones. They found the remains of extinct lions, prehistoric horses, and woolly mammoths that once roamed that dry land. Then, the nets started bringing up human history. Fishermen began finding unmistakable proof of habitation, including skulls dating back nearly 9,000 years. They recovered beautifully carved stag antler barbed harpoons and flint tools. These artifacts showed that highly developed Mesolithic hunting tribes were established across the region. More recently, offshore oil and gas companies scanning the North Sea floor with 3D seismic mapping revealed the drowned geography in detail. Below the ocean mud, they found fossilized river valleys and dead forests still standing upright. This industrial mapping turned a collection of myths into a confirmed reality. The lost subcontinent was still there, preserved under the ocean floor. To understand how an entire subcontinent vanishes, we have to look back 12,000 years. The planet entered a phase of rapid warming at the end of the last ice age. This map tracks the expanding blue water over thousands of years. As massive ice sheets melted, billions of tons of water poured into the oceans, causing a relentless sea level rise. The fertile hunting grounds turned into a chaotic maze of saltwater marshes, breaking the solid continent apart into shrinking islands. Ancient tribes were continuously forced to retreat, abandoning their ancestral homes to the creeping tide. This was a slow, agonizing disaster, millennia of multi-generational trauma as people watched the water swallow their entire world. By 6200 BCE, Doggerland was at its most vulnerable. The sprawling continent had been reduced to a fragile, low-lying island chain. Then, off the coast of modern-day Norway, an underwater landslide triggered the final blow. This event is known as the Storegga Slide. An area of the continental shelf the size of Iceland violently detached, collapsing into the deep ocean and displacing billions of tons of water. All that displaced water spawned a mega tsunami, a wall of dark water up to 20 meters or 65 feet high. Racing across the North Sea at over 200 miles per hour, the waves slammed into the remaining islands, submerging the land in seconds. In hours, the water drowned every living human, animal, and ecosystem in its path. The slow decline ended in sudden, violent extinction. When the violent waters finally settled, the subcontinent was gone. The ocean completely covered the last remnants of the land. Great Britain was violently severed from the mainland, isolated by the newly expanded North Sea. The physical contours of modern Europe were drawn in the violent aftermath of this disaster. The people who lived and died there were biologically identical to us. They built communities, developed complex cultures, and raised families. Yet their entire world was swallowed by the sea. Today, all that remains of their existence are a few carved bones trapped in the dark mud of the ocean floor. The history of Doggerland shows how quickly a seemingly permanent landscape can be erased by a shift in the planet's climate.